you ready? Because I am. Yes, I'm ready to revive this channel. I know it's been a really long time. It's been years actually since I last posted a video here. And if you subscribe to the channel hoping to see new content but didn't really see anything, then I apologize. But I promise that's about to change with this video actually. And this year I'm going to be a lot more regular with the videos that I post here. I have lots of different ideas for the type of content I want to post on YouTube. So I'm happy that you have joined me, and I'm eager to see your comments as well at the end of this video. If you're new here and you don't know me, I'm Kanchan Kaul. I'm a self-taught watercolor artist, illustrator, and a Skillshare top teacher. You can also call me a content creator, I guess, because I do post content about my art on my social media where I'm known as Petite Procrastinator. And I have a small creative business where I design and sell watercolor brushes and paper that suits my style of painting, and they're available on my website. Alright, coming back to the video, you might be wondering why YouTube and why now, and how is it going to be different from all my other social media channels. And to be honest, that was a thought that I have had for a long time, and probably the reason why YouTube was getting ignored for so long. So I have Instagram and Facebook where I share short form tutorials for flowers in watercolors that I paint, and for more in-depth classes I have Skillshare. So I wasn't sure if I want to have more teaching content on YouTube all these years, and now I feel like I'm in a place where I want to talk to you all about other things in the creative space, which is beyond teaching how to paint flowers, and I felt like YouTube is the right place for that. So thank you so much for joining me. You guys have supported me so much in my Instagram and Facebook and even Skillshare, and I'm eager to see that support here as well. So in today's video, I'm going to paint these magnolias, and while I paint these magnolias, I talk a little bit about my journey, how I got started with watercolors, what were my early struggles, how did I overcome it and find my style. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you're interested in the class for this magnolias, the in-depth step-by-step class, it is available on my Skillshare, and the link for that is in the description below.
4 years ago, I opened a box of watercolor paints for the first time, and let me tell you, it was chaos. I didn't know what I was doing. Everything I painted looked like soggy paper with color on it. Today, I'm a watercolor teacher with students from around the world. So how did I get from there to here? Let me tell you that full story today. I've always loved painting. As a kid, you'll find me lost in coloring books or drawing random things with crayons. When I grew up in my teenage years, biology was my favorite subject because I got to draw a cross-section of body parts, organs and flowers. I loved that drawing part in biology. But I never went to art school, so no formal education and nothing professional. The only real training I had was this one summer class with my neighbor. She was an oil painter and she was taking classes for all the kids around the block. And she was so generous in teaching me how to sketch, how to prep a canvas, a little bit about the pigments that you would need, brushes, layering, things like that. She gave me a foundation, but after that summer, I didn't paint at all. Life took over, school, college. I never really picked up a brush again, but that desire to paint was always there. Years passed, I graduated, I got married, and eventually moved to Singapore. But somewhere inside me, that old love for painting kept quietly whispering, "Come back." But I lived in a tiny apartment, so no way I could set up oil painting with turpentine and all that mess. I just kept putting it off. Then suddenly seeing all these artists on Instagram painting with watercolors, and I thought, this looks less messy. It's compact, colorful, perfect for a small space living. That was around 2018. The interest was there, but the action was still zero. Until one very random moment, I had gone for a haircut and I just came out of the salon and I saw an art store next to the salon. I don't know what came over me, but I walked in and said, can you give me some watercolor supplies for a beginner? I had absolutely no clue what I was buying. The assistant helped me. I walked out with a full set, paints, paper, and brushes. And I thought, yes, this is the beginning. I'm going to start painting. But of course, that did not happen. They just sat there in the drawer for 2 whole years. Fast forward to early 2020, I just hosted a housewarming and a friend gifted me another set of watercolor paints. At the time, I was like, a watercolor set for housewarming, but I don't mind art supplies. And I remember that I had bought my own set 2 years back. And then, boom, lockdown started. Everything shut down. And one of my New Year's resolution that year was to spend more time on hobbies. So I thought, this is it. This is actually the time to try. I cracked open those paints and immediately realized this was not like oil painting. Watercolor had its own mind. It bleeds, it wraps the paper, it dries weird, it's transparent. You can't keep working on the same paper again and again. You'll spoil the paper. And I was trying to paint it like I used to with oil paintings. Before we move forward, I want to show you some of my early works. This is actually the first sketchbook where I started painting, the one that I got as a housewarming gift. And you can see I was struggling with watercolors and starting as a beginner like anyone else. I did manage to make a few artworks, flowers, birds. I even tried my hand on some landscapes, but you can see clear signs of me being a beginner in these artworks. Nothing was working, the brush was wrong, the water control was wrong, everything was wrong. And I realized I needed help. So I went straight to YouTube and searched for beginner watercolor tutorials. That kind of helped a little. But then I discovered Skillshare, and I signed up for a 1 month trial, and that trial turned into a full year of binge watching watercolor classes. I was really obsessed. I watched watercolor classes during lunch breaks, at night, while doing laundry, you name it. Every single day I was learning something new and painted along. And I think that really helped me get better at my art faster. So 6 months I was constantly painting. Skillshare helped me. There were a lot of good tutorials on YouTube as well. But I realized that I was still following instructions and I wanted to kind of paint independently because there are only so many classes you can take, to be honest. And I wanted to paint without any tutorials. So I took a whole week off just to paint by myself. No videos and no guidance, only the learning that I had in the last 6 months. I painted animals, birds, portraits, butterflies, landscapes, but one thing kept calling me back, and those were flowers. I found myself constantly returning to floral subjects, still life florals like flowers in a vase, or I wanted to just paint branches. Something about them were just drawing me to them again and again. I wanted to paint more and more. And even then, I was struggling with my style. On one side, I was happy with the loose florals. I wanted to paint loose style, soft, flowy. And on the other side, I wanted to paint botanical style as well, which is a little bit more realistic and detailed. And I kept swaying between these two until I found my middle ground, and I started painting flowers in a way that captured the drama and texture of the petals but still felt a bit expressive, not too detailed and not too loose. I call them aesthetic florals, and that became my signature style. I began sharing my work on Instagram more confidently now that I was painting on my own, and to my surprise, people liked it. I got comments and DMs asking, "Can you teach this?" So I tried a few tutorials on YouTube, and then reels came into Instagram. So I started creating short form reels, and that kind of helped me grow my audience as well. But I felt like these short videos were not enough, and I wanted to actually explain the why and the how and what goes on behind the scenes to really start a watercolor floral piece. And since Skillshare helped me so much, I decided to start teaching there. In November 2020, which was just 8 months from the time I started painting, I launched my first Skillshare class. And to tell you the truth, teaching online is no joke. I had to learn lighting, camera, sound, scripting, editing, mic, everything. But I stuck with it. Every class I made, I improved. I even got coaching from Skillshare officially. and they help me with better lighting, understanding, better editing, and every piece of feedback helped me grow. Fast forward to today, I've taught thousands of students around the world. Watercolor is now part of my daily life, and I honestly can't believe that messy first painting led me here. I could have totally given up because, to be honest, watercolor is difficult. It's not easy to get started with, and it all started with the curiosity and showing up again and again, and I didn't give up. So, if you've ever thought, I wish I could paint like that, you can. I had no formal training, just a love for art and a willingness to keep trying. So, if there's a brush sitting in your drawer collecting dust, this is your sign. Start now, and you never know where it might take you.
Thank you for joining me in this video today, and I'm eager to see your comments. Did you like it? Is there something different you want to see? What kind of content you want to see here? Like I said, the teaching is already there on Facebook, Instagram, and Skillshare, so I want a little bit different content here on YouTube, and I'm eager to know your thoughts and what kind of videos you'd like to see in future. And thanks for joining me today.